All right, folks, this is one of my favorite videos I do every single year, and that is to review the new color of the year from the top 3 paint manufacturers, which is Behr, Sherwin Williams, and Benjamin Moore, my favorite. So I'm going to review the ones I like, the ones I don't like. I'm going to tell you what colors to use if you're going to go sell your home. I'm also going to review some paint colors that are tried and true that I present to every single one of my sellers, and I'm also going to give you some helpful tips what to avoid when you're painting your house yourself. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, so let's get into it. Behr's color of the year is a color called Hidden Gem. Now, I really like this color. It's kind of like Forest Ranger green meets HOA compliance. Oh my gosh, I'm killing myself. It's a really interesting color. I don't know if I would use it for an entire room. You might want to use it in a small area like a powder room, color drenching. I think that would be really interesting. But I would just kind of use this color more as accents. I had some people reach out saying, I'm kind of thinking about doing my kitchen cabinets a different color, kind of a teal color. Would I recommend this color for that? Maybe, but I wouldn't overdo it because when you do something that's a big statement, you might get bored with it. Now, I do like this color for accents, for throws or pillows, even vases, something like that. But I would be really careful with overdoing this color. I do love it, however. I'm not going to lie. Every time Behr announces their color of the year, I'm like, oh, let's see what it is. By the way, last year was Rumors. And in this year's palette, they actually have that color in their palette. It's like, come on, can we not be more creative? But what I don't love about their palette is it doesn't complement each other. Like you would never use Rumors with Hidden Gem. Whereas you look at the other manufacturers, Sherwin Williams and Benjamin Moore that we're going to talk about today, it's a palette that, in my opinion, complements each other, meaning that you can pick any one of the colors in the palette and it really does complement the other. So in this palette from Behr, it doesn't do that. It's just a rainbow of colors and nothing really matches. However, if you are looking at very dark, saturated color other than Hidden Gem, I do like Cracked Pepper. It's a really dark charcoal color. I do like that Nocturnal blue. It kind of reminds me of this. Now, I don't necessarily would recommend using that for a whole entire wall once again, but accent pieces like fireplaces or wainscoting or even trim around the windows would be very interesting. Now, out of all the colors on this palette, there's one that I think I really would recommend if you're going to sell your house, blank canvas. It's exactly what it sounds like, a blank canvas. And when you're going to sell your home, you don't want your paint to be too specific. Paint it very neutral, very white. And what I love about blank canvas, it doesn't go too peachy, it doesn't go too yellow. It's a really nice warm white. So one more thing that annoys me about Behr is you got to work to figure out the color of the palette. You go on their website, you're looking at the colors, and they don't have the names listed below the color. You have to grab your cursor and hover over the color swatch to get the name and the number. It's like going to a restaurant and they give you a head of lettuce, some dressing, a knife and a fork, and you got to cut it yourself. It's annoying. I come to the restaurant to be served, and I don't want to work hard to figure out my paint colors when I go onto a website. Okay, next up is Sherwin Williams, and their color of the year is a color called Universal Khaki. Now, what's surprising about this color is it's tan. And I don't think you realize how much color is in that Universal Khaki. It's a very dark color. And in the pictures, it doesn't look like it's that dark, but I guarantee you, if you have it against white, in fact, I'll put a picture up here with the white curtain, you can see how saturated that color is. And for me, I think it's just going to really darken your home. If you're going to sell your house, I'm going to tell you, please stay away from this because your buyers are going to be like, I don't like this. I've been trying to get rid of this in my own house because it kind of brings back Tuscan era vibes. And I also think this is a very safe play for Sherwin Williams. I don't think they were really being all that creative. They're saying it's a timeless classic color. I don't know. It's not timeless and classic in my book. However, I mean, some of these pictures, it does look nice. It just reminds me a little bit of that Tuscan era. Nothing wrong with the Tuscan era, but I think we're done with it. So the rest of Sherwin Williams' color palette, I'm just underwhelmed. Maybe I'm just in a bad mood, but I'm just expecting more. I mean, how long have you guys been doing this? So I look at their color palette. Do they complement each other? They do, but they're weird colors. Like lemon chiffon. What the heck are you going to paint that color? There's no way you would ever paint that anywhere. And if you do, you're in trouble with me. Cream and sugar, it's okay. It's just a cooler version of that Universal Khaki. I really don't think those two colors complement each other. The best color out of this entire palette is white snow. I love white snow. Every landlord probably uses white snow, but white snow makes everything beautiful. I mean, you can go look in a ghetto area, and if it's all covered in snow, it's beautiful. And that's the beautiful thing about white. It just makes everything look clean, beautiful, and refreshed. Once again, of course, most landlords use this white color, but when you're going to sell your house, it really does make your house look bigger. It makes it look cleaner. It makes it look fresh. Now, this henna shade, that orange kind of terracotta color, I hate it. Like, don't put this in your house. You're going to hate it. I just don't love it. Well, what is that color? And then dark auburn, it looks like soil. The limestone, I don't know. Limestone's not bad, I guess, but it's in that gray. And then garden gate, it does look like a garden gate that has termites. I do like Teragon. Teragon is probably my favorite dark color on this palette. I think it's interesting. I think the only reason why I like it is it once again reminds me of this color. It just has a little bit more turquoise in it. And then watery, I mean, I don't know. That looks like bubblegum ice cream. And when I was a kid, it was like light blue with a little bubblegum in it. It's overdone. It's predictable. I'm just not really loving color of the year for Sherwin Williams this year. I'm just not, just keeping it real. If you like these colors, good on you. I'm not a fan. Let's talk Benjamin Moore. In my opinion, Benjamin Moore is the gold standard when it comes to paint and paint color. So back in the day when I was an interior designer, we'd get Benjamin Moore's palette of the year, and we would just use those colors throughout the entire home. We didn't even have to do any work. It was already done for us. In fact, in 2022, I'll put the color palette on the screen here for you. It was beautiful. It was actually still my favorite color palette. I did most of my house in those colors. So my white on my walls is steam. I did linen in one of my bedrooms. I used October Mist, which was the color of the year in 2022. By the way, the color on my fireplace is a color called Mysterious. I loved Benjamin Moore when they did that. However, they've been really letting me down here the last few years. It got a little crazy. Like, look at 2023. Like, oh my gosh, this color kind of matches my jacket. This was called Raspberry Bliss. This is hideous. What would you ever paint this color? I mean, maybe a front door if you're cute, but And then they went a really bold. Look at those colors. Like, I don't like any of them, really. 2024. This is called Blue Nova. What is it? It's like periwinkle. It's not even blue. It's kind of lavender, dark. I don't know. I'm not in love with this color. I never have been. It's weird. If you like it, that's fine. People were painting some of their kitchen cabinets this color. I just, maybe on some bed sheets, I'm just not loving it. And then look at their color palette in 2024. I mean, you got the yellow, you got this weird terracotta color, you got this dusty rose color, you got grandma mauve. I mean, this is just very disappointing. I was really let down in 2024. Too many primary colors. I'm not loving it. 2025 was cinnamon slate. Now, I don't see cinnamon in this color. I see eggplant. I didn't really love this color palette for 2025. I mean, it was better than the previous color palettes. Didn't like it. Benjamin Moore's color of the year is Silhouette. And I love this color. I actually had Julia Kessel, who's a local designer, and she was on my live stream this last week. And when I showed her this color, she's like, I know, I love it. It would be great in an office. What I love about this color is it's not too cool. It's not too warm. It's different. I think it would be pretty on a fireplace. It would be pretty in some moldings. Color saturating would be very interesting with this color. I mean, it kind of goes with my outfit in this room. It's a very interesting color. I would probably stay away from doing an entire room this color if you are selling your home. Now let's put their color palette on the screen. Notice there are only 8 colors in their color palette. So Behr had 20, Sherwin Williams had 10, and Benjamin Moore has 8. I love that. They make it simple. Now, the color that I just love for any of you selling your house, and you've heard me talk about it over and over and over again, and Benjamin Moore and I agree on it, is Swiss Coffee. I love it. Now, a lot of people tell me it goes a little too warm. I say, oh, no way. There's no way. It's a beautiful color. Now, I do like this, and I'm having a hard time saying it, this Narragansett green. I think it's interesting. It's very interesting. It's a saturated color. I would stay away from Sherwin Tan if you're going to paint your walls. Once again, I think tan just makes it look dirty and moody, and I know a lot of you are not going to agree with me on this. I mean, doing curtains is one thing, but painting an entire wall, First Crush, in my opinion, leans a little peachy. You'd have to like paint it on your wall to get an idea. I'm not in love with Southwest Pottery. I think we're going to get really tired of those terracotta colors. I know they're trending really heavily. I just think you're going to get bored with it. I do like Badic or Badic. I don't even say that color because I like accessorizing and using, more of those rose kind of plush colors. If you've ever seen my living room, I use that color quite a bit. Not sure I'd paint an entire wall. So my favorite color out of all of these colors, you're going to guess it, Swiss Coffee, Benjamin Moore, if you're going to sell your home. Oh, and by the way, if you're getting any benefit out of this video, please smash the like button and share with friends and family. And also comment down below if there's paint colors that you're really enjoying, that you're living with. I'd love to learn from you. And I know some of the other visitors would love to look at other paint colors as well. But as promised, I'll put on the screen, these are the tried and true paint colors that are my go-to. Now, my top 5, as you know, Swiss Coffee is one of them. I love Pure White. I love White Dove. Simply White, you just can't go wrong with. I love Alabaster. Chantilly Lace. Decorators White. They're all good. Anyway, if you want to get a list of all of these paint colors and want to know where to put these different type of sheens in your house, whether it be flat or matte or eggshell or satin, I do have a cheat sheet. I will link it down below. I'll link it right up here. And I have an entire resource guide for you. So you can have questions to ask any of your listing agent or buyer's agent, staging checklist. There's a home inspection checklist. There's a downsizing checklist. I got it all. And it's all free to you right here. And you will link it down below as well. I am here to help and serve, and I just thank you so much for your support over the years because I just reached 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. The top mistake that I see homeowners making when they are considering painting their home is they do it themselves, and they don't really know what they're doing. So if you have the money, I'm always going to recommend that you hire a professional because I can't tell you how many homes I've sold and I'm looking around and it looks cheap. And the buyers are like, oh man, we're going to have to put a new paint job on the property. Okay. And that's going to cost a lot of money. So if you're not going to hire a professional, then you need to watch a lot of YouTube videos. You need to prep your walls properly. So clean your walls. A lot of you don't know you need to do that. If there's peeling paint, you need to sand it down. You need to cover up all those nail holes and texture properly. If you have dark walls, you need to put a really good primer on first because that dark wall will bleed into the lighter color and it will look awful if you don't. If you don't do this, you will get streaking, you'll get uneven walls, and it will look really cheap. Really cheap. Okay, another mistake that I see homeowners making is they use the wrong finish. So you're using matte in like kitchens or bedrooms and it permanently stains. So don't do that. The go-to is ceilings. You can use flat paint. I'd say your walls, you're going to use a velvet or a satin. On your baseboards, you could use velvet or satin. A lot of people like to use semi-gloss. So really pay attention to the finish, what you're using on your walls. And once again, I have a cheat sheet describing all that. So download that so you don't make this mistake. So the other mistake that I see homeowners making is they get impatient. And instead of doing like 2 light layers of paint, they just start glopping on the paint and they start using the roller and you start seeing roller marks or the sheen's a little bit different or it starts to drip. So take your time, okay? Use 2 coats, 2 thinner coats, and it takes a lot longer to dry when you just glop it on, okay? It doesn't look good. It doesn't look professional. Okay, this next one just drives me bonkers, and I see it all the time. It's called DIY. So you're not doing the proper prep work. So you're painting your walls, you're not protecting the furniture or the floors, or you're not masking off the baseboards, and it looks sloppy, it looks messy. So remember, the success for painting is 70% of the time or work should be prepping before you paint, okay? Cannot stress how important that is. So the other mistake that I see homeowners making when they're painting is they're like, oh, expensive paint is overrated. I'm going to go buy the cheap stuff. Well, the problem with the cheap stuff is, number one, it doesn't keep the pigment as well as it could. So it's going to fade faster. Also, the sheen is not going to stay as long. So if you have that eggshell or any type of sheen, it's not going to match when you go to do touch-ups. So I am going to recommend that you do invest in good paint, do your research. Of course, I'm always going to recommend Benjamin Moore. I know it's more pricey, but when I did go to the paint store in Ganals, you can go to these paint stores and there's so many people that call in or return the paint. I mean, you wouldn't believe how much paint was sitting there on the side, and I was negotiating with a guy for a client of mine, and he gave me 50% off on one of Benjamin Moore's highest rating paint, which is that Aura. I'm always saying it wrong. I think it's Aura paint. It's expensive, but I got 50% off on a very neutral color. So look around. You can find very high quality paint on eBay. Go talk to your painter. They might have something left over, but if you're living in your house long term, do not skimp on paint. And if you are selling your house and you're going to go do those touch-ups on your wall and you notice that there's a sheen differentiation or the color just doesn't match, your buyers are going to notice and they're going to want to have the whole house painted, and they may not expect you to do that, but they are going to expect a significant discount. I know this video was a little bit predictable because I've been saying the same thing over and over again, but the good news is it's standing the test of time. White walls or neutral walls. And if you're going to use color, go more saturated. That middle range is just not necessarily good. You got to commit. Go light or go dark. Now, I just put a $6.2 million home on the market, and I'm kind of bragging. We did stage it. Well, we used the client's furniture. We kind of tightened things up with artwork and some colors and some textures. But look how beautiful this home is. We use that cognac color. We're using blacks. We're using neutrals. If you look at the kitchen, the island is more of a navy color. We got some neutral cabinets. We're mixing it up. We got Calcutta marble on the countertops, but everything flows. It's not boring. It's stunning. It's inviting. It's warmth. And by the way, we already have a ton of interest. Okay, so that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for the 100,000 subscribers. I can't tell you how thrilled I am. Thank you. I wish came true for me this year. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.